Hello and welcome to the Knatters Knits podcast. Today is Sunday the 17th of January 2016 and this is now episode 18 or 19. I'm not sure which, I've lost count. You can tell I'm running out of fingers and toes, can't you? So how are you all doing? Thank you very much to those of you who've watched before and have come back. I really appreciate that. And thank you to all of those of you who are new and checking me out. Hi! Why don't you pop over to the Ravelry group that's entitled Knatters Knits, that's Knatters with a K, and tell us all about yourself. I'd love to hear how you are and what you're up to, what sort of things you like knitting, what sort of things you'd like me to knit, what you'd like to push my boundaries a bit and challenge me. So do pop over there, it would be great to see you. So today is Sunday, as I've already said, and it's very cold outside. It's -1, something like that. Yes, we work in centigrade here, so or Celsius, whichever you want to call it. So it's winter and there's snow on the ground, which is unusual for around here because we're in a little sort of a dip really, and we very rarely get snow. So this is only the second time since we've lived in this house, I think, that we've had snow. So it's really nice to see, but not so nice to drive in. So be careful if you have got it and you're out there. Right, so I've told you about the snowy north of England. I do like the pictures, and I'm getting a little bit fed up with the things on Facebook where people are being bar humbug about it and say, you know, yes, we can all look at pictures of snow. Yeah, we can, and it's just nice to remind ourselves sometimes and to have them in there, so I really appreciate those. Right, first of all, I'm going to start off, as this is a knitting podcast, with a finished object. Yay! It's the blanket. Here we go. As you can tell, it's not a huge blanket, but it is a 4x5 mitered square blanket with an edge. And this will be for my grandbaby to go in its cot, or its pushchair carry cot type thing. Baby's not born yet, it's not due till June, so I've got plenty of time to finish the ends on that one. And actually this grandbaby's taking up a lot of my knitting time at the moment because I keep seeing things and going, ooh, I want to make that, ooh, I want to make that. So the next thing I'm doing, because that was the only finished object I've got, is, sorry, I just dropped stitches. I get cross when other people pick them up on their podcasts, and I'm doing exactly the same. So now I understand it's imperative that you pick the stitches up. Woo, I'm just dropping everything absolutely everywhere. Get back on there. Get back. This is a pattern I've had for over 30 years. It's called Baby Time. My hands stop shaking. And as you can see, it's a really pretty little set. I don't think it ages with time. It's one of those timeless classics, really. And I'm making the bonnet at the moment, so that's just up here. And as you can tell, I'm doing it in this sherbet yarn. Now this is Jinx yarns, and I just absolutely love this. I think it's meant to be a sock. It's a 4-ply. It's, as you can see, is very variegated, and actually it's quite a bit brighter. That's more realistic there. Quite a bit brighter, maybe it's a bit darker than that, but you get the gist. And it's knit up like this so far. Lovely stitch definition, as you can see, with the little diamonds taken out of it, and it's got this really nice picot edging. Sorry, picot edging. Doesn't sound so good with it in your mouth, does it? No, it's a picot edge. That was a pain, an absolute pain to do, because I'm not one of those people who likes picking up stitches, and it was definitely picking up stitches to do it. But let's have a look and see if I can show you a bit closer up. It does give it a really nice picot finish, like these sort of little teeth. And if you look at it on the wrong side, it looks as if it's been hemmed. So I quite like that. Now these are knit on, so look at it now, 3mm and 2 3/4mm, and it also says you need a 2.5mm crochet hook. I'm just glad it had the really old-fashioned English numbers on it, because we used to have 11s and 12s and things like that. Because the only needles I could find, because my interchangeables don't go that far down, and it's very difficult to make an interchangeable that's that fine. And my Denise ones don't do that either, and so all I could find were these, which are really, really old Aero needles. If any of you remember them, they were an English make. These were size 11s. And I should have changed, yeah, no. And the numbers are the other way round, so 11 is bigger than 12. I know, it's really strange. But anyway, so that's that one. So this is the bonnet I'm making at the moment. And I've got maybe another bit like that to do and some decreases, and then it'll be finished. It's very, very quick knit. Very satisfying. So that is that. I have made this week a pair of gloves that I can't show you because I've already given them away. But I can show you again the pair that were made for me in exactly the same pattern by my lovely friend Sarah. And because I like this design so much, when I got these from Sarah, I decided that they're one of the Tin Can Knits pattern, and I decided I would make them for my friend at work, who also happens to be my boss. So I made her a brown pair, and this is my grey pair, made for me by Sarah. So that's another thing I've done this week, and it's been an interesting week because on Monday I was at the Guild of Spinners, Weavers and Dyers, which this particular branch of the guild is called Heddles and Treddles, which is a rather nice name for them, I think. And they all meet in North Lancashire, sort of on the Fylde Coast area. I won't say any more than that, but they're a lovely, lovely bunch of ladies. Well, you may remember that last time I was telling you about the fleece and the really soft, where's it gone now, fluffy bit that I had, which seems to have disappeared. Anyway, so my stash has been enhanced this week because we had a guild meeting, my first true meeting as chair. But it was okay. It was really, really good. We did a stash swap, and we did a show and tell, and just a general social nice evening, which was really, really good. So the ladies that came to my house before then, who'd taken some fleece away, had decided that they would give me something in return because I wouldn't take any money. So the first thing I got was this. Put it back here. It's a raspberry colour, it's Corriedale, and it's from a company called Forest Fibres, and it's Corriedale sliver, and it's called raspberry, and there's about 200 grams in there. So I'm really looking forward to knitting that up and spinning it up, because as you can tell it's my favourite colour. Then the other one, they're gone. She gave me, and I apologise for the crinkling, a whole bag of ponies. They're so beautifully prepared, and I don't really want to use them. These were given to me by Jerry. The other one was given to me. Sorry, forgotten. Your name's, I can see your face, but your name's completely gone out of my mind. Anyway, you know who you are, so thank you very much for that. This is from Jerry, and these ponies are a mixture of my fibre and I think it was some mohair that she had, hence the, I don't know if you can see how floofy they are. And there's a whole bag of these. Oh yeah, a whole bag of ponies. I haven't got the patience to make ponies, so I'm really, really chuffed that she's made these for me. So thank you very much for those, Jerry. So that's that one. Now, another thing that I haven't bought this since Christmas. I'm being good, I'm still being good, I'm still sticking to my resolution. I found the other day this white-faced woodland. It's from the Rare Breed collection from fondantfibre.com. Hand dyed in the High Peaks, England, except this hasn't been dyed, this is natural. Just look at that. Isn't that lovely? White-faced woodland. It's a little bit on the wiry side. I don't think it's going to be the softest thing I've ever spun with, but I wanted to try some other breeds, and I know there are some more there somewhere, but I can't see them at the moment. So can you, a few of you, remind me that I need to get on and spin those, please? I'm dreadful. I'm absolutely dreadful at the moment. So that was that. And the other thing in my stash acquisitions, no, I haven't broken my resolution. This was ordered before. This is the skein, and it's got 3 brothers and sisters over there that I've been moaning about for the last couple of weeks. You know, I told you the story about the post office and it getting to the UK and then disappearing into the ether. Well, I found that it should have come last week. I paid for it to be delivered on Saturday. It didn't come. It took till about Tuesday, and even then they didn't deliver it to the house. They left it at the local post office. So I'm really cross about that. I do hope that last picture isn't the one that they actually choose to go on the front of the podcast, but never mind. Right, that's out of my hands. So this is Miss Babs yarn. It's not quite as dark as that. There you go. It's absolutely gorgeous to touch. It's variegated, as you can see there. It's hand dyed from Mountain City, Tennessee. It's Yowza, which is 4-ply light worsted yarn, but it knits up as a DK, to be honest, and it looks like a DK. 100% superwash merino wool, which is fantastic because it means that this can go in a washing machine. There's about 560 yards, 8 ounces, 4 or 5 stitches an inch. Machine wash on gentle, dry flat, wash with light colours. In other words, don't stick it in with all the whites because the colour might come out. But this is beautiful, and I have wanted all week to knit with it. And that, to be honest, is what I've been spending all my time on. Not knitting, not even putting it into a ball. No, it's still in its skeins. The other 3 are still packaged, but this one is like this. I want to knit with it. I want to find something that's just right for it, but I can't find the pattern. I found some that have come close, but nothing that I think is the one. I want something that's got a neck like this, that is nice and baggy and comfortable, but obviously with this it's not going to be as slouchy and floofy as this because it's got much more definition to the fibres. So I want something that's just going to cover me and go down to about my knees, which is not difficult because all I need to do is extend down. I'm umming and ahhing about whether to have something with a cable in that goes perhaps straight down the middle here. I think that would be quite nice. And maybe, because I've found some patterns where the cable goes down the arms as well, but I'm not a great cable person. My tension tends to be a bit too tight, and so they don't lie right. It's something that it's going to come with practice, I know, but I need to do more of it really. But I just want to knit with this so much, so much. I mean, so much so that I sat up till silly o'clock again. Sorry about the wobble there. Silly o'clock this morning trying to find a pattern, and I couldn't find one. I just couldn't, and I don't know what's up with me because there are thousands in Ravelry, thousands and thousands of patterns. I think I'm just being a tad on the picky side, so I've just discovered where the mittens went from last week. Woohoo! Found them again. I was looking for those. I don't know what to do. I really don't. So if there's any of you who've got any suggestions about what sort of jumper I could make with that, what sort you think it would look good. One of the ones I've toyed with the idea of, and I'll try to remember to put a picture in here, is one that was in this month's edition of the Knitter. It's got a lovely neckline that's more like a boat neck, and it's got cables on across, and I think the sleeves on the wrists and down the bottom are all cables and everything else is plain. There are some pockets on it which I may or may not do, so I'm thinking about that one because I think that would be quite nice, but I'm not 100% convinced. What do you think? Is there any pattern that you would recommend? Is there anything that you think that would be really great for that Miss Babs yarn? Because I've got 4 skeins, so I've got 2,000 yards, so I've got plenty to do anything I want really. I just want a different jumper because I've got a couple of, I've got this one that I wear a lot, then I've got a black one that I wear quite a bit that they all laugh at me at work because it's so thick. And being in an old people's home it's really well heated, I don't half look a prat, but to be honest, my office is really, really cold because the front door keeps opening and closing. So it would be really nice to have something different, something that would keep me warm but look rather stylish as well, which is difficult when you're as big as I am. But you know, I want to look nice for it. So the other thing that I haven't shown you yet is my last acquisition, and it's not yarn, and it was bought at the same time as the yarn because it's also from Miss Babs, as if I couldn't get enough stitch markers. My main favourite ones are from Fripperies and Bibbelots, which are on Etsy, and they're just single circles with one bead on, and they're great because they're anti-snag. They're really, really good, but I like the look of these, so I bought these ones. And that's what they look like up close. And I'll take one off, which is the orange one, because I've obviously got a thing about orange because this is my favourite one at the moment. You can see that. There you go. It matches. It matches this so well. See, camouflage, you can't even see it. Doesn't it match? It's lovely. So yeah, this is sherbet colour is really the thing that I'm into at the moment. And yet I wouldn't wear it for myself because it wouldn't suit me. I'd look really... But there it is. So these are the stitch markers from Miss Babs. And I do like them. They're like a little snowflake. Keep my hand still, for goodness sake, Natalie. The joint does move, but I think they're really, really pretty. So that's those. So that's been my acquisitions this week. I've been doing a lot of thinking as usual about patterns, designing, and I've still got a couple of ideas in my head that I want to do, but I haven't had the time yet. And also because at the moment I'm so obsessed with knitting jumpers. Who'd have thought? I mean, who'd have thought that I would have done it? I don't do jumpers, but I'm desperately waiting to start that one. So I need to find that pattern. That I can't tell you how much of a need it is. It's not just a I want to do it, it's a need. So that's that one. Then I'm thinking about doing more baby things and finishing a pair of socks, which takes me on to my next topic. I've test knit a couple of pattern socks for people in the past, and if you look in my Ravelry projects you'll see those. But I'm very much a fan of vanilla socks, mainly because I love yarns like this, like the Regia, that are so many different colours of wonderfulness, and the way they knit up is such a beautiful pattern. So there's that one, and another one I've got is this, and another one I've got, this one is Superba Circus Superwash by Rico. So that one will get knit up at some point in time. But my dilemma is not what to make next, because I can always just make a pair of socks. I like vanilla socks, and I've tried a couple of different heels now. I still am a great fan of the gusset heel. I have got the pattern for the Fish Lips Kiss heel, but I've not tried it yet. I also want to do an afterthought heel. I also want to try doing a heel and toes in a different colour to the main yarn. I haven't done that yet. But I've been roped in at Gills to do a mini workshop, just a small session on knitting socks. So what I'd like to ask you is, what hints and tips would you give to somebody who's knitting socks for the first time? Are there any things that you think are really important for people to learn? Because I'd love to be able to pass on some hints and tips really for the people who are going to be learning. See, my sock knitting history is a bit strange because the first thing I ever learned to knit was one of those mini socks. You know, the ones that you put on a keyring? Yeah. Doing stuff in miniature is not the way to learn, but I didn't realise that at the time. And for those of you who work with me, ask to see my mini sock because it's on my keyring. Still have it to this day. But I think there must be other pearls of wisdom that you guys have got. So come and tell me either on Instagram or on the Facebook page, which is getting very close to 1,000 now, so look out for another drawing there because there will be another prize going out for that one very soon. Or come onto the Ravelry page and tell me about your sock hints and tips there, because again, the more people that join, then the more chance there is of a prize. So that's all I've got for you this week. It's a bit of a shorter episode, mainly because, as you can tell, I'm a bit... Because I sat up all night looking for patterns. Silly tidy. Silly tidy. Never mind. So that's all I'm going to talk about this week. I'm going to try and crack on, finish the bonnet for next week. I'm going to have a go at trying to finish the cardigan I've got on the go. And if I find the right pattern, I'm going to start that Miss Barb shop. So I've got some very nice things looking forward to for the next week. Oh, and next Sunday I'm teaching spinning to somebody. Should have been this week, but the snow, you know, it's sort of got it called off. So I hope you have a lovely week. I'm going to be busy. I know I'm going to be busy at work, and I know that at home I've got loads to do with my knitting. So I hope you have as great a week as I can see I'm going to have. Thanks ever so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.